Alright, what is going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chain. This video, I'm going to bring up 10 different undervalued AI projects within the market cap range of around, maybe 10 million to 50 million. So they're very small, they're not, microscopic, but fairly low in market cap where you actually can make serious gains by jumping into these and just being patient. But again, before I talk about anything, this is not financial advice. I like to just bring this stuff to everyone's attention because there are many of these projects I do not see anyone on YouTube, not even too much on Twitter really talking about heavily in depth. So let's jump into all of these. And also too, I don't know if I just said it, but not financial advice. Do your own research when you're jumping into any of these. And also, I do not hold all 10 of these. I am just, again, giving you guys some projects that I think the value 100% is here, but yet there's just not enough exposure on them. So let's dive in. This is not going to be in any specific order when I talk about these, but let's bring up a few here. So number one, we're going to talk about virtual protocol. This one I've had on my radar for a while, at least like 4, 5, 6 months. But ended up having a nasty dip correction, kind of bottomed out, just like a lot of lower cap AI coins, starting to come back up. But I'm going to bring up a few things with the chart with this. But the main thing about virtual protocol, what this is it's kind of like an AI agent ecosystem. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So it's not an official doxed team. They do have some team members on Twitter, but again, they're not fully doxed, at least that I've seen and when I looked into it. But with this protocol, they actually have working live AI companions / influencers that you can actually watch, you can interact with, and that you can actually buy and sell on the open market, which is, I think that is very innovative, to say the least. And this is Luna. I think this is one of their first, or probably the most prominent AI agent that they have at the current moment. But you'll see in a second, you can actually interact with this. If you connect your wallet, you can tip her, you can watch her dance. I watched it for a minute. She actually interacts if you're gonna talk to her and stuff as well, which I don't know if she will in the next few seconds, but I guess this is Luna here. But overall very interesting. And like I said, you can actually get Luna on a DEX. This year they also have it Luna against virtual token. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of like a layer 3, but you can actually get Luna on the open market right now. It's 6 to 7 million as well on base. But that is virtual. Like I said, pretty interesting product and project overall. The thing with it though that I definitely want everyone to understand, if this is something you're going to invest in, and again, please do run research before jumping into this. I don't even hold this. Again, I'm bringing this to your attention because I think it is having a working ecosystem of AI agents. I really just have not seen that in the entire crypto space yet. But anyways, looking at these tokens, you can just see a lot of the liquidity and stuff. They have it on ETH, but the liquidity is absolutely tiny. So that is very, I don't want to say sketchy or dangerous, but I would not be jumping into stuff with incredibly low liquidity. But their pair here on base with the most liquidity is actually tied to Coinbase Bitcoin, which is a wrapped Bitcoin on the base network. So that means if you're going to jump into this, you're not going to take ETH on base and swap it into virtual. You're going to have to take that base ETH or the wrapped Ethereum on top of the base network, swap that into wrapped Bitcoin on base, and then from that wrapped Bitcoin, you can then jump into virtual. So keep that in mind if you're going to jump into this. Or, like I said, Luna is out right now as well, which is that AI agent. You can see 6.7 million, maybe a little higher at this point. And I think as time goes on, I think it's a lot of these AI agents might actually get a lot of hype, a lot more attention. And a lot of these agents themselves might spark their own, mini narrative. So overall, very interesting product, like I said. So this is the token literally for this AI agent. So that was number one. I just thought virtual protocol in and of itself, having this working utility and product, very interesting. For some reason, the market does not even like working products. They'd rather speculate on the idea of a working product. But to me, that's very cool. So number two is we got Seti AI. So Seti, I brought this up many different times on the channel here. Seti AI, currently it's now at 14 million. Seti, I think at some point it will definitely have a recovery bounce. Chart's looking a little bearish here, but overall it's sitting at 15 million in market cap. We got a Docs team. They're actually ex-developers. I don't know if they're ex-developers or still current developers of BitTensor, all while working at Seti. So they're developers of both of these protocols right now. They've actually had a $60 million deal for GPUs. There's actually a tweet I wanted to pull up. Yeah, right here. So this is Seti. 6 million worth of GPUs right now that are actually installed already. So this, I don't think it was, okay, financing deal. Anyways, what I saw was actually a $60 million purchase agreement for a bunch of these. But like I'm saying, to have that kind of pull sitting at 15 million in market cap, I think is probably one of the most undervalued AI coins that I've seen in a long time. But another reason why I'm so bullish on it is the fact that BitTensor is one of the most prominent AI coins for the whole cycle. And I think projects under the BitTensor umbrella are going to end up being some of the top AI performers going forward in the next few months, in the next 3 to 6 months. That is something, I still feel like many aren't really paying attention to. I know in my gut for a fact, I think AI related to BitTensor are going to run harder than a lot of existing AI coins that are out. So that is Seti here. Like I said, Doc's team as well, they're very active. So same thing with Seti though, it is paired with wrapped Tau or wrapped BitTensor token. So if you're going to buy into Seti, you will have to obviously, use Uniswap or whatever. You're going to swap your regular mainnet Ethereum for wrapped BitTensor. It's just the BitTensor token, but, being able to trade it on a DEX, it's wrapped onto the Ethereum network. Then from wrapped Tau, you then swap into Seti. So keep this in mind. They paired their main liquidity pool with BitTensor tokens, wrapped BitTensor, rather than just Ethereum. So that's Seti. Seti, like I said, I think it's one of the most undervalued AI GPU projects in the space currently. So number 3 here, we're going to cover LinkAI. So if you guys have seen my channel for a long time, this has been and is still my favorite AI project in the entire space. LinkAI devs have been building for at least 4 or 5 years. They've been doing a lot with AI, and if you guys are not familiar with LinkAI here, we'll go into the website. Like LinkAI is basically a ChatGPT, but a completely decentralized version of it, and it's not a wrapper, meaning it's not just ChatGPT disguised as another LLM. It's an uncensorable, decentralized AI LLM. You can log in, sign up, and you can literally chat with it just like it's ChatGPT. But like I said, I think it is incredibly undervalued at the moment. Literally at 26 million. But obviously, this is when it launched. Huge run up back in March. It's come down incredibly hard, which to me that was, kind of crazy how hard it came down, but fully diluted as well. Decent liquidity, and I'm trying to see too, because there was something I wanted to pull up with it, because they actually have a roadmap too. Something that they're currently integrating is going to be APIs for the LLM, meaning literally every single or any project in Web3 or even outside of Web3 that now wants to use their LLM, for their applications or whatever, they can now actually use LinkAI's uncensored language model for whatever they need, instead of using ChatGPT. And I think ChatGPT is valued at what? I think 100-something billion versus a decentralized one at 26 million. I think, that's pretty steep difference if you ask me. But I'm gonna pull up LinkAI. They posted a roadmap too as well. But overall, that's kind of mainly what I wanted to cover. You guys can kind of check this, like at the API website relaunch. Lots of stuff in the works, and there's actually some projects already using LinkAI's LLM. If you guys are familiar with Lush AI, that is one that is literally using their LLM for their chat models. It's for AI models, almost like kind of reminds me of like an OnlyFans using AI models instead. And they're using LinkAI's, uncensored LLM, right? It makes sense. But very interesting project overall. So we're going to cover another one. So that was number 3. Number 4, we're going to talk about chat. Vector chat AI. This, outside of Seti, is probably going to be one of my top picks for a BitTensor subnet project, aka a project under BitTensor that is going to run incredibly hard in due time at some point. So Vector Chat AI, they got a bunch of stuff going on. So it's mainly an AI inference protocol. So I'm going to go into that for a second. So this is the founder of NVIDIA.
This is the Industrial Revolution.
It's talking about AI inference.
The production of intelligence. That's right. It's going to go up 1 billion times. Right. And so, everybody's so hyper-focused on NVIDIA as kind of like...
Yeah, so when it comes to AI inference, many people might not understand what that means. So again, we're going to pull it up, make it very easy. AI inference. This is the process by which an AI model uses what it's learned to analyze and make predictions about new data. Because a lot of people are familiar with AI training, but AI inference is different than training. So AI training is the process of teaching an AI model how to perform a task, while AI inference is when the model uses what it's learned to make predictions and decisions. So I almost look at it like a brain. AI training, GPU, whatever, these projects, they're doing the AI training, aka they're able to turn the brain on and function, right? But the AI inference is when, the brain actually uses the brain. It thinks, and comes up with solutions, right? That's what inference is when it comes to this. That is what Vector Chat focuses on. So this is not fully diluted, but it's about 75% to 80% diluted currently for market cap. The team, I do not think, is doxed from my own research. But something that they're working on is they've kind of like 2 projects or 2 products. They have a toffee product, which is actually, I think it's going to be a conversational AI. Yeah, so they're doing something with conversational AI that is not out yet. And then they also have chunking here, which building the RAG of tomorrow. So another thing, what is RAG? Retrieval Augmented Generation. AI framework that combines information retrieval with large language models to improve the quality of generated context. So kind of what that means, is when, let's say you're using an LLM, right? And then you ask it a question. I guess retrieval augmented generation, it kind of works with how that data is actually retrieved and then also fact checked at the same time. So it makes it a lot, just almost like smarter when it comes to its answers. If it's going to give you an answer for a question or whatever the data, that you need from it, that's kind of what their chunking part focuses on. But overall, very interesting project. Like I said, I think fundamentally it's fairly sound for what it is. Incredibly undervalued. It's down here. It was literally at like 3 million in market cap or something, maybe less. Currently it's at around 8.8. I still think this has a ton of potential to run once BitTensor takes off, and it already has, right? But I still don't think it's been a full narrative where, a ton of BitTensor beta plays have actually even started a run yet, which is why I continuously say here on the channel that this is where you should be focusing a lot of your time or not even your time, but focusing your energy on BitTensor beta plays. I think they're going to be some of the best performers in this coming, next major run of AI. All right, so that's 4. Number 5, I'm going to cover GraphLink. GLQ. So GraphLink, I've actually been bullish on this all the way back since late 2023. I made a video on this when it was around, I think, 1 or 2 million, maybe 2.5, 3 million in market cap. I think in July, August, September of 2023. It's had a huge run since then, a huge pullback, and I think it is gearing up for another move. It's currently still at 31 or 32 million. Chart is looking very bullish. That's just off the chart. The dilution is not, it's not fully diluted either. It's about 70 something % as well. If you notice though, a lot of these AI coins that I'm bringing up are close to fully diluted, if not already fully diluted. I think that's going to be very, very important going forward for the rest of this bull run. Even though there are 1 or 2 coins I'm going to bring up at the end where they do have consistent unlocks, which, I'm not a proponent of, seeing consistent unlocks every day, every week, but it is what it is. But that's why I'm bringing a lot of these projects to your attention. Like I said, they are, most of them have a lot of their tokens, if not most of their tokens already circulating, meaning, you're not going to have insane unlocks and dumps coming left and right. But GraphLink, again, GraphLink is a really interesting project. I've been bullish on the proponent of automation, and that is what they're aiming to focus on, with their platform. And I think they have their own chain as well, GraphLink chain. But what they focus on is, if you guys are familiar with Zapier, which is an AI automation platform, it's almost, it's a way to kind of connect different applications together to be able to use all of them within, one sort of workflow. But that's kind of what they're aiming to do, but with Web3. You're able to integrate Telegram with, different platforms and integrating wallets into different stuff, and automating these, these different occurrences and whatever else. I'm obviously not like a developer, but they just have really strong no-code/low code tools for developers to, end up building different products and platforms in Web3. That is something, like I said, I'm very bullish on tools like that, even though I feel like sometimes they don't get too much hype. But I think just GraphLink overall is a very sound AI project. And like I said, it's still incredibly undervalued at 30 million here. Like I don't see anywhere but long-term up into a new high for something like this. So that was number 5. So we got LinkAI. I've covered this one on the channel many times as well. Let's see. Now let me close a bunch of this stuff as well. But LinkAI is going to be number 6 on the list. So this initially, when I found this, I actually called this as a, very degen high risk call. Literally, I think within the first few days to week it launched. But you can actually see this chart has been holding up unbelievably well. So LinkAI is, we'll cover it in one second, but very interesting AI project. So the team is anonymous. I think they're going to eventually dox themselves, but that's cool. They got a legal disclaimer, but nice. Restrictions on US. It's classic for most projects. But anyways, with LinkAI, kind of, they're trying to build a lot of different tools within Web3, but a lot of tools to use for a lot of different industries and backgrounds. So LinkAI here is they got a marketer tool. They actually have a bunch of different tools. I'm going to cover just a couple of them here. But, overall, that's kind of like what they focus on, is just having different tools for different applications in different industries, you know. But they've been building now for a while, and I thought it would be here, AI tools. Yeah, so they got Marketer here. That's one of their tools. For marketing automation, they have Engager, Zenith of customer service transformation for, you know, AI responses. You know, that kind of thing going on with their project, you know. So I like this because they are focusing on a Web 2, almost like a Web 2 audience. They also have a, you know, their business model is actually a monthly occurring payment, you know, so, because like I said, they want to attract a ton of users in different industries to use their AI tools for whatever their business is. You know, they're not trying to cater strictly to Web 3. You know, but it's overall, I think it's very interesting. That's LinkAI. Currently, this is one of them where, you know, there's not any crazy unlocks going on, but circulating is fairly small, around 20 to 30%. You know, so it's not horrible, but it's always something to pay attention to. You know, I think it's very important going forward in this cycle to pay attention to stuff like that. So that was number 6 on the list. Number 7 here is I want to cover, we're going to cover Spec. So I brought this up a lot of different times as well in the past. This one actually is higher in market cap, or a little bit higher. So this is actually about 100 million now. You know, I mean, initially when I first talked about it, it was a little smaller, all the way down to like 30 to 50 million. So it's starting to move a little bit, and I think this is definitely wrong here, but as you can see, the chart has just been kind of holding up for a while. But with Spec, you know, mainly this is a working, usable AI agent platform. You log in, you know, it kind of seems like an LLM you're talking to, but then you can actually do things. You can create literal smart contracts right then and there on their platform here. I'll pull up their website. I don't know, this will lag out. Yeah, then you can launch their app. You know, I've covered actually a pretty full in-depth video in the past, months ago. You guys want to check out. One thing that I noticed though is their backers are very strong. They got Gradient Ventures, which is actually Google's AI, you know, venture capital fund / firm, whatever you want to call it. Franklin Templeton, Circle, Samsung Next. You know, you can just see a ton of different backers as well. That very strong. But that's Spectral AI. Spectral token here. But one thing about it too is they do not have unlocks at all. Still for at least 6 to 7 months or something like that. You know, initially when I covered this, one of the main reasons why I was so interested in it is because their tokenomics are, you know, they have 0 unlocks. They had 0 unlocks for about a year. I mean, since then it's been probably at least 3 to 4 months, maybe even 5 since I last covered it. So obviously that's going to be cut almost in half. So I'd say 6 to 7 months before Spectral even has its first unlock of any tokens. So again, that's very good. I mean, currently the again, this looks completely messed up here, but you know, circulating supply I think is literally, it's tiny. I think it's within 5 to 10%. Could be, I think, closer to 5. So very small. So this is what you would call a low float project. But again, with having 0 unlocks, this is not going to do anything but go up if we get an AI season. You know, when you'd be worried about this one would be, I think, you know, closer to the middle of 2025, maybe March, April, or May of 2025. That's when you'd want to really think about this and, you know, and then re-evaluate, see what kind of unlocks are coming. But again, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because right now, you know, it's still very undervalued. And the unlocks won't happen for a while. So Spectral is a great overall project. Like I said, it is a little higher in market cap, but ton of potential with it still. So I'm going to cover a couple more. So I don't know, I think that was 7. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So another one here, number 8, is going to be Roko Network. This one I've had on my radar. I invested in this a while ago. I'm not currently in it right now. But Roko Network is another really under the radar AI coin, but I'm going to explain some good and bad with it. So overall for Roko right now, it is also an undoxed team, currently on Ethereum. They've been building though for a long time. So I'm going to give you guys a little rundown of it too. Yeah, and I have it here, just bottomed out. This would be an incredible trade, honestly, if it actually took off. But so Roko, I got a couple random tweets, but they do have now they are incorporation now in Panama, which is good to see just for trustworthy purposes on our end as an investor. So something about it though is Roko Network. So what they're doing is they're building kind of like a robotics, I don't want to say a robotics platform, but they're building the AI infrastructure around like literal robotics, and they've partnered with this this LLC, and they are building physical robots. And if you guys do a little digging in their Telegram and things like that, they've actually hinted at a lot of different stuff that they've built. Hence right here, this is literally what they work on. And like I said, Roko is building the AI infrastructure to be able to get these robots, to communicate with each other, to talk to each other, to do any sort of functionality. That's what they're working with. Like I said, very under the radar stuff here. But, this to me is kind of like an AI/robotics play, which really is not even a thing in the market yet, which is hence why I still like to call this very undervalued. Token circulating supply right now is, it's fairly similar to the others. It's around 70 something percent circulating. So not all of them are, not all the tokens are out yet, but most of them are circulating right now, which is good from an investment standpoint. The only thing that I sometimes I don't like to see with certain projects, is if you are a professional project that's been building a lot, it seems like they tweet and post a lot of stuff almost as if they're, a crypto degen or stuff like that. They don't really have too much of a professional outlook to them. Again, which I don't fully like, but I think over time, especially if they can start upping that, I think there's a huge opportunity with something like this. Again, there's really no robotics/AI plays in the crypto market right now, except this one. And then another one, which I'm going to cover, but that's kind of a different robotics thing. I'll cover that at the end. So that was 6, 7. So was that 7 or 8? So that was Roko. Roko is very interesting. Like I said, incredibly undervalued at literally like 4 million. But again, the reason why I say it's high risk though is because, I don't know what kind of attention a narrative like this can get in the future. I think if robotics becomes this prominent narrative, which I know in time it will, then I can see this easily becoming a huge project. But I think also I'd like to see Roko as the team, become a lot more professional with how they, show themselves, put their, website and all this stuff. Just to, overall become more so of a more professional brand on social media. But that is Roko Network. So I want to cover Elki here, which this one is probably one of my favorite newer coins that is out. Elki Network. So this is like an entirely new thing that, a lot of people might not understand or even realize is a thing. But if you guys have ever heard of spatial intelligence, this is like a whole, I kind of look at it like a sub-sector within AI. Elki here focuses on this subsector in which it deals with, robots and physical robotic infrastructure and how they can actually move around and function within a physical space. It's called spatial intelligence or spatial computing. That's what they focus on. Their website is actually called PoseMesh because their AI network in which they have all this data programmed in is called their PoseMesh. But so this is like a DPIN slash AI play. Honestly, to me, looking at this, I would think that this is a legitimate, company in the Fortune 500. Very, very professional. Lots of good backing. But I think this entire subsector of AI is just incredibly slept on, and the reason why I think it's a big DPIN play, is I kind of want to see. They have right here. They actually have an application coming where they use it for retail, and I want to see if I can pull up like a. Oh wait, that's no, I'm not gonna arrange a pilot, but super interesting. Let's see if I'm trying to think of spatial computing. Thought it would have like a. Yeah, so bottom line, what it is you can use it in a grocery store. It's like an application, and it basically can navigate. You choosing whatever food or something you need, and by holding it up using their VR, kind of spatial intelligent tech, it will literally direct you right to where the food is on the shelf. I've seen them kind of compare this to using GPS or something because, when you use GPS, right, you can get place to place, but you can't use the GPS when you're in a building or something like that. And that's kind of what their PoseMesh or, what their AI focuses on is kind of mapping inside of buildings and stuff like that. So then, it's almost like a next layer to the GPS. I was trying to say there's one other thing that I wanted to cover with it. Two other things. I want to check their YouTube channel. If you guys want to go more in depth, we'll go to YouTube here. If you go to Aoki's YouTube, it is so professionally done as well. Aoki Labs. Just type this in. Yeah, classic. If you guys ever see, I was like, I thought that was loading. If you guys ever see that, never click those. Always scams. So this is Aoki, the DPIN for AI perception. But they do have a doxed founder on Twitter who's very active. But you can, they go incredibly in depth. It says this DPIN faster than Starlink. They have some great major partnerships. They're literally partnering with a retail, I think, grocery store, huge one at some point too. But I want you guys to check some of this stuff out. You can go. This video is really interesting. Very good stuff, and that's actually one of the founders right there. But this is Aoki. I think an incredibly undervalued coin. But the one thing that I do have to say that I do not like about it is the fact that, again, their circulating supply with this coin is very small. They have daily consistent unlocks happening on the chart, on the market. Like I said, that is the one downfall that I personally can see from a project like this. Because, again, I think spatial intelligence, almost as a little narrative in crypto, is not a thing. And this kind of relates to Roko in a sense of where, this kind of infrastructure would be used for robots as well. But outside of the consistent unlocks, which, it's not massive, but I think if we just see a huge surge in AI, which I think we are gearing up for it, I really don't think that fundamentals as far as even decent sized unlocks consistently are going to really be an issue when we are getting into a full-blown euphoric bull market. That is where when things are just going up only, people are going to ape into anything that just has the word AI in it, right? So again, to me, it's not something that you really need to worry about, it's life or death with the project, but that is something to pay attention to and understand. But overall, and this is on base network as well, sitting at 13 million. So I think that was number 9. So the last one I want to cover, it's already a 35-minute video. this is going to be TIG. This is one that I feel a lot of people do not, or may not have ever heard of either. Which this one is also on base, currently at a 15 million market cap also. Very, very undervalued. But what TIG is, yeah, as you can see, I bought this one and I'm currently heavily down on it. But, I don't care. I'm going to get into why. TIG, the innovation game. So what this is, to me, it reminds me almost of like a BitTensor. How BitTensor, or even Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, you mine Bitcoin, you generate rewards in Bitcoin from doing computational tasks. BitTensor, you train AI, you get rewards based on computational AI training. With TIG aims to focus on rewarding for solving any sort of, algorithm. So, whether it's any sort of industry or something has some sort of issues or, algorithms that need solving, that is what TIG focuses on. They accelerate algorithmic innovation through global collaboration. So this to me is not, it's not just tied to AI. It's tied to any sort of industry, again, where you need a lot of solving with a lot of these computational challenges that are cryptographic challenges that people can't solve, and then if those are solved, you actually get rewarded in the TIG coin. So there is a docs team. The founder, he's been working on the project for a long time. I'm not going to cover this one fully in depth because a lot of it goes way over my head, some of this stuff, but a lot of people kind of categorize this also as like a DeSci narrative play. But overall, there's a lot of different stuff here. Like I said, some of this stuff goes well over my head, but that is kind of just a general idea of, kind of what this is and where it comes from. But, I think currently in the market, so like I said, I do hold this one. I don't have a big bag by any means. Again, because it's still not fully formed, it's down only trend. It's probably going to dump, continue down for a little bit before it flatlines and then starts a run. So this one's going to be a slow accumulation potentially as well. Like I said, you could again, not financial advice to be jumping into any of these. Again, I'm just showing you guys random projects that I've had on my radar for months. And all of these I think are super undervalued. In one sort of way or the other. They all have very innovative use cases, stuff like that. But that is going to be the end of this list here. Again, these are just 10 different AI projects. And again, not all 10 of these are just going to end up pulling a 30x, 50x overnight. Or, they might not even move too much in the next few weeks, few months. A lot of them, because they're so, they're different narratives within AI, a lot of them might not get attention until later down the road. Things like that. Just a lot of different projects that I want you guys to have at least on your radar that you're paying attention to. Because I think if we're gearing up for a full-blown bull run, if it lasts a few months, a year and a half, at some point I think a lot of these are going to start getting recognition. But that's why I'm showing you guys early. So outside of that, I appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.